Okay, so I'm gonna explain to you just how my morning just went. So I'm reading this book, and it's about this girl who essentially dies, and she gets in a car accident with her friends. And this is like how the book starts. Like, this is not a spoiler, like, don't worry. But it starts out with basically like what her last day of life looked like. So she's talking about how her and her friends, they drive together to school every morning. Her friend pulls up to her house at like 7 in the morning, and like she brings like a Dunkin' Donuts coffee and bagels, and when I tell you, like, this book just like thrusted me back into high school and what it felt like. Because was I waking up that early always to be with friends? No, but occasionally I would. Occasionally I would wake up insanely early and go to my friend's house, and we would just hit carts and like smoke Nick before leaving. And I would sometimes mix it with coffee, and I would always make my morning coffee, and I would always love like the caffeine and nicotine mixture, right? And the girl who's driving, her friend Lindsay, she's smoking cigarettes, and they have their little Dunkin' coffee in the car, and like it's just really bringing me back. So when I'm reading this book, I'm obviously like, oh my god, now I want to go get Dunkin'. And not to mention the fact that like I just like have a craving for coffee like consistently because I'm usually up late. My coffee machine in my room broke recently. So that's another thing. And I go to Dunkin', and it's like 4:30 in the morning when I go. And I'm, waiting by the window, and then a homeless person walks through the parking lot of the Dunkin'. And I am, I'm at the window, and I'm like the only one at the Dunkin', like the only car that's in that parking lot, right? And the guy starts looking at me, like he stops in his tracks. He looks at me and stares at me while I'm in my car. And I'm getting nervous. I'm like, oh shit, like I'm gonna get robbed or something, or like I'm gonna get like... But the thing is, it's just like, those are obviously just fears. That's like fear, like talking and like taking over. Because in reality, this man did absolutely nothing. All he did was look at me, and he did look at me very intensely. But I think it was a look of like, can you buy me something? Can you get me something? But I was just so nervous, and I was so caught off guard that I just, I got my food, and then I drove off. And then he started yelling at me, like, when I was exiting the lot, he started yelling at me for me to come back, because he probably wanted me to buy him something. And honestly, he didn't do anything to hurt me. He didn't do anything. He could have grabbed me through the window of the drive-through. Like, he could have like went by the left side of my car, and he could have grabbed my food. He could have like harassed me. He did nothing. All he did was look at me. And I was obviously scared and nervous because it's 4:30 in the morning, you're by yourself in a Dunkin' lot, and you're just kind of like nervous. But all he did was look at me. He didn't do anything that would be remotely hurting me. And there's a small part of you that almost knows that in the moment, kind of. But when you have anxiety, and when you tend to not remember that I mean, it's not that I didn't think he wouldn't in the moment. It's not like I didn't think that everything was safe and dandy. I was scared. I was scared that that something bad was going to happen, because bad things usually happen at very late hours, okay? And that's just a fact of life. But it got me thinking, like, it broke my heart that I didn't get the guy food. And I even went back to the Dunkin' with my campus security. I literally asked my campus security. I was like, hey, like, can you just like follow me back to Dunkin'? I saw this guy there, this homeless guy. He wants food, and like I drove off and I feel really bad, and I tried to go back, so he was like, yeah, I can drive you back if you want and we can take a ride back there. And I was like, perfect. So I went back and he wasn't there. And I just like really regret that. And then I'm reading this book, right? And I'm just like feeling its magic working already, because it's like death is not something that like sure, maybe in that moment I was really scared. You know, I was scared something bad was gonna happen to me, but it's like, I think the whole book is like, has a very obvious, and I remember this from the film, but like the book has an obvious message of like, you're gonna die one day, so like treat every day like it's your last, like treat people with kindness, and like, so I'm coming home back to my dorm, and I'm just like realizing that I'm like, oh my goodness, like the magic of this book is already like hitting me. And so now I'm just manifesting that I end up running into this man again, and I can give him food, and I did just try to go back before, so I'm gonna stay in tonight now because there's not much else I can do, because I don't know where he is. And I could drive around aimlessly if I really wanted to, but I've been doing that very often, and like I've been trying to stop myself from doing that because I am one of those people that like can veer off track easily and end up driving around in circles. Like, so this is something that is needed to be shared in this vlog, because I am not going to just be one of those content creators that like goes through these things and doesn't talk about it and doesn't vocalize it. My storage is full, but I don't even give a fuck, because I was just reading before I came to the mall, because I'm returning something. And it just so happens that one of the locations the characters are at is in the book, has a vendor at the mall. I literally was just reading the scene where Sam and Lindsay get TCBY and skip class. I like love when that happens in books, when you see the locations that you read in the book in person, and then they just pop up in your life. It's just the most kismet, amazing, series of fate. And you know that book's magic is working for you. Okay, I'm on page 75, and this is so good. It's so good for my reading. Like this one quote here: "What's wrong with her?" I say, trying to fight the feeling of swimming in my own head, of my words coming from a distance. That is so sometimes how I feel when I read books, like my head is just swimming. But another thing, this book so expertly details how this group of girls is so shitty to the people at their school and has permanently messed up like multiple lives in just one day. And it just purposefully details that they don't really care about the consequences of their actions, and it's subtle and it's so well done. And I'm so excited to see where the story is gonna go. Welcome to Am I Overthinking with your host, me. Am I overthinking? Am I overthinking when I tell myself in my brain not to have that last sip of coffee that would finish off the medium hot coffee that I got from Dunkin'? My brain told me not to, yet my body was like, oh, that's kind of harsh. So I drank it. And there's a small part of me that feels like I shouldn't have, and it messed with my reading flow. So my question for you is, am I overthinking? Spoiler alert, I know I'm overthinking. So I thought that a fancy new title for this video would be Reading Before I Fall, as if it's my last day on Earth. I have some pasta, I have some caffeine, and I think I'm just gonna sit here and try and finish the rest of the book. Like, in the next 24 hours. I'm on page 82, so here we go. The thing I love so much about art is that it always connects to each other. Like everything you watch and you read connects to each other. Like I saw Perfect Blue recently and it was the same Groundhog Day storyline, had elements of that in it. I was watching the TV series called Tell Me Lies, and guess what song was playing in it? Psycho Killer by Talking Heads, which is referenced so much in this book because they bully one of the characters by singing that song. And when I just like see those little connections, I'm just like, yes, like the art is carrying me and I love it. The art is carrying me just like I thought it would. So not to stop reading, but I got a message before during meditation, and it felt like it was directly from God telling me that I need to stop consuming and start creating. So honestly, this whole book vlog is wonderful, but I feel like I'm still consuming in it rather than creating. So I'm trying to figure out like what creatively I could do tonight to like kind of get some inspiration, and just see what I can do that would be healing for me in that regard. This book turned me blonde. I lost all my friends. And I'm thinking of sending a really nasty text message to someone because I'm gonna die one day. I just got off the phone with my boyfriend, and another photo of an ex-best friend popped up who hates me, and I was going to literally send the picture to her again. It's literally a beautiful photo of us. Like, think of the most magical, mystical photo in the world, and it is just that, and maybe better. And I was gonna send it to her again, but then I thought better of myself because I remembered that I need to let these people go. These people go that don't care about me and are actively choosing to not answer my messages when I am fighting for them in the best possible way that I can. And if there's anything this book taught me, it's that like I have a limited amount of time on this planet, and I can't keep wasting it giving my energy to others when they don't want to give it back. No matter what I do, no matter how much love I give. So I'm gonna end this segment and I'm gonna get right back to reading Before I Fall. You see, I was still looking for answers then. I still wanted to know why, as though somebody was going to answer that for me, as though any answer would be satisfying. Not then, but afterward, I started to think about time and how it keeps moving and draining and flowing forever forward, seconds into minutes, into days, into years, all of it leading to the same place, a current running forever in one direction. And we're all going and swimming as fast as we can, helping it along. My point is, maybe you can afford to wait. Maybe for you there's a tomorrow. Maybe for you there's 1,000 tomorrows, or 3,000, or 10. So much time you can bathe in it, roll around in it, let it slide like coins through your fingers. So much time you can waste it. But for some of us, there's only today. And the truth is, you never really know. This is such a deeply heartbreaking story. Okay, so last night I finished Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver, and I have so many thoughts because not only did I finish the book last night, but I even went and watched the film afterward. I want to focus on the book first and foremost. I loved this story so much. Like, this is one of those reading experiences that I'm gonna remember when I'm like 90 years old. Like, I can fully stand by that because this is the kind of story that, like, it sticks with you when you're going through the worst of your times, when you're going through those life transformations, when you feel like you're living the same day over and over again, just like Samantha Kingston was, you know? And this story just has such a way of like, I was reading the audiobook when I was reading this story, and I have to tell you, like, there was certain days where I was an emotional wreck or just a complete disaster, and I would turn on this audiobook and it would be Sam and it would be her when she's going through like one of her craziest days when she just lets go and, you know, kind of embraces the craziness. And it would be so comforting to read it when I was going through a similarly crazy day, you know? I think that if there's something that this book taught me, it's that you could literally go rewinding your life over and over again, playing the same memories over and over again, but the outcome always is the same. You know what I mean? And now for Sam, it was a little different. Each day, she lived the same day over and over again until she had to get it right. And my reading the audiobook, like, I was so focused on completion and like just getting it done because I've been literally reading this since November because it's such a chunky story. Like, it's like almost 500 pages. And I will say it did feel super dragged out at points. I was like, oh my God, are we really doing this again? You know? But then I like sat and thought about it and I was like, that's literally the point of the story. Like, it's supposed to feel dragged out. And God bless that I had the audiobook. The audiobook was fantastic. It was so good. It was like, I don't even know. It kind of, this story would have been a really great like mini series too, but I also really like the movie. And so yes, now that I'm talking about the movie, I find it so funny because my biggest problem with the book is that I felt like it could be slightly edited down, like the movie was super quick. Like, that was my issue with the movie. The movie actually felt like it was too edited. It was only in an hour and a half long movie. I swear I felt like I was watching it for like 15 minutes. And I'm telling you, that's like a strength. I actually thought the movie was pretty great. I thought it was a pretty great adaptation. But my biggest issue with it is that it's too edited down. There's so much more juice in the story that the movie is missing out on. But I need to kind of just like wrap up my thoughts really quick because I have to head to the library and I have to write a paper. But I find this story to be an important one. I I'm in at a such a point of my life where like I'm embracing who I am and just kind of letting things happen and unfold and letting the energy in because I have a lot of amazing, exciting stuff happening. I'm finding my love for reading again, and that's been amazing. And this book has been a huge factor in that. This book and Clockwork Angel are both stories that have 100% helped me get back into reading. And I'm so grateful for that. And I just have a lot of excitement happening, and I just want to keep living in the moment, letting the energy in, and just being grateful. Like, being this book also teaches you how grateful you should be for your life and your loved ones and the things that you have, and just, you know, every single day is a new day to, you know, to get it right, you know. So that's all for now. I'm gonna close the book, you know, metaphorically, on this kind of before I fall thing, but this book will be on my mind for years to come. Like, I'm gonna be thinking, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be thinking about this book when I'm like 80 years old. So I totally see why it was such a successful debut novel for Lauren Oliver, and just the fact that like a book can do that and take you on a journey like that, like a 5-month journey that I had, and I just love it. And I know that I, like, again, will be thinking about it when I'm literally entirely grown, and just, that's a special kind of story. So I'm so grateful that I embarked on this little before I fall thing, this, not a thing, this before I fall journey, this experience. And I'm super excited about this vlog too, because it's very raw, and like, this book took me on a journey out of a lot of emotional realizations, and just, I'm so blessed. So I hope you enjoy this video. It was certainly a fun one, an important one I've been working on for a very long time. So yes, enjoy, and be well. And just, if there's anything I could say, just take the lessons of the story that I discussed, and just live your best life. Mwah.